Okay. Thank you very much, guys, for watching Black Hot Fire Network. Uh, Good evening from Kampala, Uganda. It's Africa Maria from Uganda, of course. And I'm sorry I'm a little bit late, and I also apologize for the days that have not been online. I think last week and then yesterday. No, the last 2 days and also no, 3 days, I guess. I've not been live because I was, I had issues of electricity, so it's raining. It's raining. Sorry about that. That's my mom. So it has been raining, and of course the electricity, the power has been on and off. And then, why am I even talking about this? Let's just jump right into today's topic. I had said this topic like last week, but I was not it wasn't possible for me to come live because my sisters came a little bit late. So my show was cancelled at that time. But yeah, so we're here with this topic again, and of course today we're going to talk about single parenthood, why single parenthood is increasing within our community as the Black people. I know a lot. We have other people also living, in these communities, but we concentrate on the Black people because that's what matters to us. Now, today we are going to look at as why single parenthood is increasing. When somebody talks about an African woman or an African man, an African community system, a marriage system, the first thing that comes into the mind of brothers and sisters living outside Africa is that, okay, in Africa, things are definitely okay. I mean, in Africa is where you should get a perfect wife. Okay, in Africa, women are so very, understanding, they respect marriage, they do it well. Sorry, because here the shit is happening as well. Let me say it like that. Hello, Maria. How are you? I'm fine, David Brown. Thank you very much for coming. General Mosquito, this is you, Maria? what what time you call this? I don't know. Hope you're doing well. I'm fine. I know. Sorry. I know. I just jumped in. I could not miss today. I missed coming live for some good 3 days, so I could not miss this. I know I'm a little bit late, but well, I'll just be here for a little time until maybe Kate comes in the studio. I really apologize for that. So, in Africa, of course, everyone thinks that in Africa is where marriage is so perfect, is where women respect relationship, respect. Every man thinks that it's everything is all right down here. But I'm so sorry to break your bubble. It's like the system has also entered down in Africa. Actually, more especially when it comes to the youths in Africa, women feel like it's okay for you to be a single mother. Okay, everyone wants to have a baby, but okay, nobody wants to have a husband because they feel like it's hard work. One thing they will tell you, I don't want headache. I don't want to go through someone controlling me. That's what people say nowadays, more especially women. I don't want to be controlled, so I don't want to be controlled. Well, I rather have a baby. I'll take care of my child. I have all the resources to take care of my child. And according to African system, this wasn't the issue. It is okay for you to take care of your child. We know you have all the potentials. You got all the whatever is needed, but there is something that is important that a child misses, more especially when those children grow with the single parents, be it your mom or or dad. David Brown says dysfunctional marriages are global. Exactly, dysfunctional marriages are very global, but we understand that in a certain way that we have been programmed to believe that it is okay for you to be a single parent, and for the man it is okay for you to produce your children and leave them out there for a woman to take care of. It is so very okay for you to even bypass you know um just bypass a woman, and she's working with your child, but you're so very comfortable believing that another man is taking care of your responsibilities. Today as I was heading to school, I was on a bike. We usually call it border here. It's a safe border. So I was, riding to school, and in a jam, in a traffic jam, I saw that these beggars, I should say, are the street beggars, these little children who keep begging money. So one child came, but you'd see the child was looking good. He had trimmed his hair with whatever style he wanted. I think he put an initial of his name, in his head. He had dyed the hair, like you could see the chemical in it, and he had some gold, he had pierced his nose. He was a boy, and he had some gold chain and all that, but he's on a street begging. And his mother, actually, it was not one. The one who came to me was one, but there were some other children, asking other people for money. They had a little, like a cart. So only to look the other side was their mother, or she was like trying to say, you go to those people, who are in cars. And if you look at these children, they are not people who are born within, okay, people who come from within Kampala, because they are called Karamojangs. They're actually people who board Uganda and the Turkana and the Maasai in Kenya. So these people have a lot of the Maasai, kind of style in them. But my biggest question was like, if these women sleep on the streets, their mothers sleep on the streets, but they produce every time. And these women, actually, some of them were even pregnant. If you move at night, you will find these women lying on the street, on the verandas, on the corridors, but they get pregnant. These women are pregnanted by men, actually, who are never on the street begging. So the guts a man has to go and lay with this woman, knowing unprotected, you doing it without protected, you're not protecting yourself, you're going to have live sex with this woman, and there is a probability or chances for that woman to conceive and bear your child, honestly, and you're so very okay in doing this, and tomorrow you are sitting in your car or whatever, maybe you're footing or whatever. People can do crazy things. So you may even see someone from a car doing that shit. So you look at these children begging on the street, and you look at the mama, and you're like, I don't know. Among these ones here, I don't know who exactly is mine, or could it be one of these ones is mine? Like, seriously. So you can see how it is, you can see how people have neglected their responsibilities. People have neglected what we used to call family in the African traditional way, that every man made sure that his lineage was lived in a proper way, and you had responsibility to taking care of your children and your blood. Everyone who carried your gene was your responsibility. Unlike today, where it is very okay. I don't know why even men feel it is okay for you to go and pregnant a woman who says, I just want to have a baby. We are not going to be married. I don't want you to marry me. We are not going to be in a relationship, but it's okay. You can pregnant me because I really want to take care of my child. So you can do it. And men go ahead like stupidly. You do such an act. Now you can see how people are becoming so very, reckless, that they do not really understand the concept behind childbearing, and they do not really understand the reason as to why it was very important for a black person or a black man to take care of his family, and more especially his blood. Because when I talk about your blood, that means that's how do you say it in our language? I was about to mention it in my language. That's your biological child. In Africa, that was a very, very important thing. That's why women made sure that they bear children for men, because it put them in a different position. You understand? Unlike today, where people do not respect that. Okay, it is okay for you to pregnant me. I'm going to take care of my child, and you as a man, you go ahead and plant your seed in this woman, and she says she doesn't want anything, but all she wants is to have a child, and you blindly do that, and in the end you even don't care whether you are seeing this child walking down the street, You don't care, but you know it is your child, actually, because it is your child. Even if you were denying this child, it is yours, and you don't really care. Okay, so this is something that is going on all over the world. People have neglected their responsibilities. People do not know the use of family. People do not know the importance of family. People do not really understand the importance of protecting their own legacy. I don't care about Black legacy, because you may not really want to care about Black legacy. Like, I don't care about the Black people and what goes around them. But how about you? You don't care about yourself? Because how do you even sleep when you know I have my child out there whom I'm not sure if he has eaten, or if my child has heard, is having a good life? How do you sleep knowing you have some seeds you planted out there? You don't know whether they are being shot dead, whether they died, whether they've been buried, whether. How do you sleep, really? And how does a woman sleep when you know that you are having somebody's child? I don't know, and you are deriving this child from the right of knowing his or her parents, simply because you say, I'm gonna be a single mom. I know I can do it. I don't really care if this man gets to know this child. All I want is to be a mother. So you are depriving the rights, of knowing the father from this child. Like, you are deciding to selfishly make yourself happy, on selfishly to make yourself happy. Precisely, Maria, only a coward rejects their own children. That was sorry. You are denying this child to have to know the father for your own selfish interests, for your own selfish gain. The first question you should ask yourself: didn't you know who your father was? Okay. General Mosquito says, precisely, Maria, only a coward neglects their own children. Exactly. you know we have got a lot of cowards. We have got a lot of people who fear responsibilities. Actually, I don't know how much food does the child eat. I don't know the space this child takes, consumes when it's gonna sleep. I don't know how big the space this child takes. But and for you as a mother, if you feel like you want something to play with, to satisfy your emotions, to walk around with, like, and that thing should not have the right to its feeling, then you should buy dolls. You understand? Buy dolls, walk around with your dolls, because this is a spirit. This is a human being we are talking about. This is a child who did not apply, or who did not write an application letter. I did not write an application letter asking you to give back to him or her. This child did not make a choice of who the father is going to be, but you as a mother, or you as a father, you made that choice. You made a choice of that man you wanted to lay with, whatever reason you conceived for that man. And now this little child, you are making your decision selfishly, not, knowing that this child is being affected. Now, I grew up without a dad. Not that my mom divorced my father. No, my dad passed away actually when I was like 5. So all I grew up is seeing my big brothers, my mom, all. But at times I sit back and I'm like, I wish my dad was here, because I would be telling him like a lot of things. And I'm like, I wish my father was here. When I was young, I used not to think about that. I grew up so happy. But can you imagine right now? I can really take care of myself. But I don't know why I feel like there is that empty gap inside that really wants my dad. I feel like I wish, we can sit down with dad and we talk about stuff. Maybe he tells me about stuff, and sometimes I make, wrong decisions. And at times I'm like, I wish that was here. Maybe he would have guided me somehow. And so at this age, I shouldn't be doing that because I'm a big girl now. But I think like it's again, I feel like I miss him more. Now it was not my mother's doing because my dad passed on, but how about these children who have the ability, who have the chance to stay with their parents, but parents are trying to, prohibit these children from, living with their parents, no matter how this parent look like. Maybe he's a drug addict, what, but, you know, whatever. But it is you decided to live with this person, so you have to handle your shit. And some men would, high memory is guiding you now. His memory is guiding me now. Yeah, I believe so. Jibijaba. Hello, Jay Washington. You're welcome. Thank you very much for thank you very much for coming through. Jibijaba, thank you very much for coming through. John Mosquito has been here. David, I'm not seeing you. Where you gonna hide? But thank you for coming through too. And for those who have come through, thank you very much, guys. So for me, from the experience I have of missing my dad, not knowing who my dad was, I hear stories. My mom telling me he was a great man. My big brother's telling me he was. And I also know because he passed on when my mom was pregnant. With my other young brother who did not even feel his touch. So I know probably he's going through more than what I'm going through. But so with that experience and that void inside, I really pity, and I guess this goes beyond my understanding to emotions. When I look at parents trying to derive away the rights of children getting to know their parents, I really feel so very touched. It affects me so much because maybe these parents don't really understand what these children are missing. Because I've experienced that, you know. So I feel like these parents don't know what these children are missing. Every parent. And then sometimes it's not what the parents want. Sometimes it's not the parents do it. Sometimes it is the other pattern or the other side of a parent that really, is trying to avoid the responsibilities that even some people, the pattern, sorry, feel so tired of chasing this relationship and trying to create a bond. In Africa, we all believed that, I don't know how it is outside Africa, but in Africa, our parents believe that when you take care of your child now, you have somebody to take care of you. Because for us, we don't have these old home centers where you keep old people. Old people live in homes here in Africa. Okay. Now assume that my mom did not take care of me, and probably she grows old in the future. She gets so old. Who's going to take care of her? She not give me the love. I don't know about anything about her. Even my children, if I have my children, they will not really take care of her. So you can see how important it was in Africa for you to have, it was like an investment. And I personally still believe like childbearing is like an investment, though it takes you through a lot. Except that in systems where they got this old, home, where people be taking their grandmothers, their mothers, and everyone to be taken care of somebody else, or the nurses. In Africa, it's not like that. When you grow old, your grandchildren are always around you. When you grow old, even your children may not actually take care of you because they're busy trying to make money. They're trying to make a living. So the children around you are always your grandchildren. They'll be the one to be around you actually and respond to your calls and everything that goes on around. So that was African. That's why it was very important. And I still believe that's why it is so important for you to never neglect. I know at that time you're still strong, but you don't know how old you're going to live. You're still strong, but you don't know, okay, who's going to take care of you during your old days. You understand? For me right now, I see sometimes mom is coming down here because she comes here and sometimes she's going back to up country. So you can see that relationship now. Imagine you did not raise your children well, or you did not raise your children with that discipline. It is you to suffer in the end The next thing, you're going to see your grandchildren slapping you. You're going to see your child who is supposed to respect you at that age shouting at you. You're going to be fighting in the house all the time, you know, because this is how you raise them. You forgot your responsibility and you let the world raise your child. You know, when you let the world raise people, it raises them in a hard way and it teaches them stuff in a very hard way and they become hardcore, you know, that they are very hard to break and they become so very cold as well. So in Africa and the entire black race, we have been so very much programmed to neglect relationships, to neglect, you know, parenthood, parenting. When I talk parenting, it doesn't necessarily mean that you should marry me, you should stay with me. Marriage is not by force, so it's not something to die, you know, to die for. I respect it, and if you can hold on, it is okay. First of all, it is not a bed of roses, they say. Mm. I know that there is its ups and downs, but if you cannot stay together, but you know, still co-parent, you know, take care of those children, stay with them. It is okay to keep a relationship. After all, you were in a relationship before. If you had to share that bed and whatever, you know, came along with the processes in the bed, then why you becoming enemies that you cannot really work together and raise your children? Why can't you come together and raise these children? Because they both share a piece of each of you. You know, because her mother is a whore, she a bitch, whatever you all be calling them women. She's still the mother of your child. Whatever man is, I don't know how they call men who are whores, but it's a whore man, whatever. But he's still the father of your children. So you put aside all that. If you don't want to see me, send my child to me. Let the child come along, stay for some day, go back. Let this child get to know the parents. I know there's also repercussions between the back and forth movement of these children. But what to do now? It's better than not raising your child anyway, or it's better than not being around. I can see Robert Williams, Detective Drop, Habari, Dada Yangu, Chocolate Mambo VP, Nico Poa, Robert Williams, Nico Poa for sure. And thank you for coming through. Right, Maria is bringing up a great point. David Brown said that. So I feel like we really take it so personal and we selfishly make decisions that really affect these children. You see, I'm a girl, I'm a female. I shouldn't be thinking about my father, okay? Because when somebody will say, you know, it is boys, men have to raise boys, parents have to raise both of their children. My dad is not going to teach me probably how to be a man, but maybe he understands women. Maybe the experience he has had in this world is enough for me. David said men are called whores too. Yeah, so it is okay. Someone may say, why do you miss your dad? Like, you're female, okay? You shouldn't missing your father. Men are supposed, you hear parents talking about, you know, I'm only having daughters, so it doesn't matter. But I've seen a lot of things going on. I don't know whether it's just me, you know, me, I don't know. It's me, I just don't, there are a lot of stuff so I don't believe it. So I'm sorry if it is normal to other people. There are some things I look at more, especially on TikTok, and I definitely get to realize that this woman, she's a single parent. Because there are things a man can never. I don't know with other men, at least black men, I know there are things black men can never allow their daughters to do on social media. That is just obvious. But mothers can let their daughters do this. Okay, mother's card. So there is a TikTok video actually I saw, and if it was up to me, I would have arrested this woman. If it was to me, I would have arrested this woman. But I knew this woman is either a single mom, or maybe she doesn't know. Maybe she didn't even tell the father that this is your daughter or something like that. Because there are things children can never do, more especially, fathers are always very protective when it comes to their daughters. So there are things I know when I look at a young girl doing, I get to know that this child is being raised by her mom. She's not being raised by her father, because there is no way a father will allow her daughter to do such kind of bullshit. Now, there is a song this child was singing to actually, and it was a very obscene song. People do their crazy songs every day. But the actions this girl was doing on that show on TikTok, and to be funny, some men were like, men are crazy. Commenting like, yeah, she gonna grow up and be like, seriously. She was lifting her leg up, and I'll not say what the song was because it was in a local language, but this child was lifting her legs up and hitting her private parts, and then she was standing up trying to shake her ass like she was like 4 years old. There is you saying that my child is an adolescent. She was 4 years old. Definitely what she was doing on TikTok, she was being instructed to do that. Her mother probably was telling her to do that. And with Uganda, of course, everyone, every TV, every television station, and everything was talking about this child. And you know what? The mother came out. She was trying to insult everybody. Yeah, where were you when I was giving birth to this child? She is my daughter. Nobody should tell me how to raise my child. And all I said, yeah, I knew it. I knew it. There is no way a father would allow you to do this to our daughter. So a lot, I'm not like trying to say women are stupid or something, but the way women view things is not the way men do view things. For us, we may react to something, or we may get to understand this is not right after some time. We are so very much driven by a lot of excitement, you know, our brains move with excitement, the emotion thing that prevents us from thinking and seeing forward. That's why women always make wrong decisions when it comes to relationship. They think they get that overwhelming excitement of incidences, and they tend not to think straight. So at times maybe. So that when there is a man, men take time. They look at things sometimes slowly but very sure, and you may think they are not really understanding, but when they do so, when they're understanding, so you can look at those kind of scenarios. And now today women feel like it is okay for me to be a single mom. Okay, it's okay, but are you sure that it's okay for that child? Are you sure that it's very okay for that child, to the point that they'll be like, I don't care. Okay, at least for you guys, you are put on child support. I don't know why a man who pays child support doesn't want to come and see their children. If I pay child support, I have full responsibility, to my child, because of course I have to make sure if the resources are being allocated the way I want them to. But I hear some women will even say, well, they just don't bring nothing. We are okay. I'm going to take on my child. I'm going to take on my daughter. And one of the stories will be, if it is a man raising this child, your mother was a bitch. You don't talk about the good moments you always shared. It's okay to end things. It is not by force. I don't know why people don't feel like it is normal for me to wake up or for us to have issues, and then in the end we are like breaking up. It is normal. For me, you rather break up than, taking me for a fool, or for us being in a relationship that is really not working. Working forward is very important. But it's not a crime. Okay? It is not a crime. So you cannot torture the children simply because you broke up or your relationship did not work. the relationship of this child and the parent is not the issue. Okay? Is not the issue. Here in Africa, when I get married, I don't know with the brothers outside Africa who want to marry African women. Now, let me tell you, when you are a man and you marry an African woman and she happens to die, they will never bury her at her home. They will bury her at your home as a man. That's if you were married traditionally. I'm not like trying to say she's your property or what like people call it. But because this is your lineage now, when you marry this woman, she becomes part of you. She becomes part of your family. You start to proceed your own lineage. And that's why where they will bury your children, this is in Africa, okay? Where they will bury your children is where they will bury you and your children is where they bury your woman or your wife or the woman who gave birth to your children. You see, that is Africa for you. All women are not choosing to be single mothers. K. Washington says that all women are not choosing to be single mothers. I know actually. When I talk about partners, it is a two-way thing. So it could be a woman, it could be a man. And yes, I know not all are choosing, but I do not really care the circumstances unless a man is dead or unless a woman is dead. I do not really care the circumstances at which people are single, at which a man is single or a woman is single, because a man can also be a single parent and a woman can also be a single parent. I do not care the circumstances at which these two parties are becoming single. But the most important thing is, how are the children how is this going to affect the children? Are they going to, are they going to be in the lives of both of you, even if you separate? Because it is very important. Like I say, it is very important actually. They may not show you like they need their father or mother, but deep down they do. You may give them everything. You may give them everything tangible, but there is that void that can only be, filled by the presence of a parent. I'm speaking this from experience. Jidi Jabba was saying that even though I miss my dad, he's always with me. He's always guiding me. I'm grown up. I shouldn't be missing, like I say, but I still feel like I miss my father. At times I sit alone. I'm like, if my dad was here, things wouldn't have gone this way. At times I'm like, if my dad was here, I would tell him the story. Maybe he would. Not that my mom does not care. My mom really does care for me. Until today, actually. I can never come back from school when she has not cooked me food. I can never leave to go to school. The first thing she does even before I wake up, she's making tea for me. And she's like, Marie, you cannot go, on an empty stomach. That's how my mom cares for me. But still, but I did not feel the touch of my father. I don't know whether he was going to be that caring dad or not, but I still feel like I miss him. Despite everything my mom does. And like it was not her choice, of course, my dad passed. But yeah, having both parents is ideal. Oh, I wish, I wish the universe would bless us that way, actually. I'm somebody who fears, I really so much fear to be a single parent. And I guess that fear in me may make things worse. I may do a lot of things wrong. For the experience I've had with some people, they like say when you fear that you make everything wrong, because at times maybe you're desperate and all that. But I wish I wish it was a different thing, but you understand? But that is it. And that's what is happening today. So the world out there, let's look at the privileges so very much going to focus on the women. I'm so very sorry. Though it is not up to a woman to decide whether she's going to be single or not. There are some men who have been back to violent. There is somebody at least you rather let go. Like when you see a man is not progressing, a man, and if this person stays around my children may not be okay. It is okay. It is okay. Okay. Your mom sounds cool. Juliana, my mom sounds cool. Yeah, my mom is cool. My mom is good. Sometimes people keep on saying my mom will keep me here and I'll forget to get married because she takes care of me a lot. But she takes care of us a lot. Each of us be saying she cares for but she takes care of all of us a lot. So that's how things. My mom is cool. And thank you, by the way. So you look at being a single parent. I know a lot of people probably would want to because when you come at that point of deciding to have a child, that means you're okay with each other, and in that process things go wrong and you decide to let go whatever it is you thought was going to last forever. But in the end, who suffers, of course, the children. Like Kay Washington, she's like saying most women do not choose to be single parent. But we are focusing at the programming right now. We are focusing at the programming, we are focusing at the system that is really affecting marriage. We are focusing at the system that is causing the dysfunction. We are looking at the system where it is a privilege actually for a woman to be single, where it is an added advantage for a woman to be a single mother, where she's going to be paid some money. She knows she's going to get some money from the government because she's a single mom. We are looking at she's going to be getting child support, whether this man went for a DNA. So imagine she's having how many men paying for child support? Like 7. Just like men don't get pregnant, I'm not going so much to concentrate on parenthood and the man side. So imagine she's having like 4 people paying for child support for this one child. But I also learned that people who pay child support are the ones when the child is, birth certificate. I don't know if it still goes that way, but so the system actually shows the woman that we are going to care for you if you're single. You're going to have the resources if you're single. But if you're a man out there and you come in, you try to step up probably and say, I'm going to marry her. She's single. She needs somebody to take care of her child. I'm ready to do that. The moment you get married, the system stops supporting. Why does that system stop? Which shows that they do not really support. All they care about is this single thing that people are taking advantage of. Because for them, they believe if he goes, I don't care, the system is going to give us some support. Kay Washington says that most women aren't getting paid with child support, but some are. Actually, some are. If you're a single parent out there and you're a mom, I'm like, I don't know. I don't want it to sound like it disrespecting single mothers, because actually it's a full-time job to be a mom. I've seen this with my mother. It's a full-time job. And as a single mom, I know, Kay Washington, I know what it means. I was raised by a single mom. My dad passed when I was 5. My mom never remarried. She never got married again. I never saw any man in our house. I never saw somebody helping my mom, actually. Not with even the smallest thing. But she made sure we had everything we wanted. She made sure that All of us went to school. We received, every want and need that she could, afford at that time. So I know what she went through. So I'm not like trying to justify the action of men dumping, children and running away the moment they hear she's pregnant. I'm not trying to justify the act of men rejecting and denying their responsibilities. Of course, I've seen men denying their responsibilities. So a man coming around and saying, he's not my baby, she's not mine, and others even claiming, for me, I cannot be a father, I don't father, and all that. Okay. So I really understand. I understand because I have been raised by a single mother, which has made me tough, actually. Probably that's why, maybe that's why the way I am. Because I grew up knowing that we are supposed to make sure we all eat. We are supposed to make sure our mother, is happy. The moment I grew up, I knew what it was. I will always try so very much to make sure that my mom is happy. I guess maybe, though my brothers keep saying my mom loves staying here, because I guess she's always happy around me than being around their wives, you know, because I grew up knowing I'm supposed to make my mom happy. Inside, I thought, this thing affects a child actually. Like I'm saying, Kay Washington, we may feel like as a mother, you feel like you have done everything. My mom feels like she did everything. She's actually very proud, of which she has the right to be proud, because we were seven actually. Our dad left us when we are seven children. But I know, and my mom has a right to be proud because she has done it. All of us, we have received, at least we can take care of ourselves, like, but still, there is that effect. Because, there's that effect. I started feeling like I'm supposed to be responsible for my mom at a very early age. I remember times, boys, I was always close to my mom all the time. And I remember one time I saw my mom cry. My brothers used not to see this, but because I was always close to my mom, I used to see a lot. And I grew up, psychologically, I started behaving like a grown up. I stopped behaving like a child long time. I cannot remember when. So I saw my mom cry, and I remember very well what she said. She's talking to my father. And she was like, say, you decided to go and live with all these children, And I know you can see what I'm going through right now. And at that time, we were supposed to go to school. All of us, the seven of us, my brothers were in high, I think they were in secondary at that time. And for us to be starting school, everything was expensive. And so after, when my mom was done crying, I guess she had to clean her face and came back with a big smile. For her, she thought I'm very young. I was not going to understand. But I've never forgotten that until now. So since then, I fear to always ask things from mom. You know, every time I felt like I wanted something, I could remember that my mom, maybe I would say, maybe mom can't afford that. So my brothers would keep on asking because they never saw that side of her. She never let them see her cry. She never let them see the pain she was going through and the difficulties, we were experiencing. But I did see that. And I remember one time people at school, the teachers were like saying, I think that woman is Maria's stepmother. Why is it that she never has a new sweater? Why is it Maria is always coming with that shoes? Because, my mom would ask, like, what do you guys need? And I would tell her, Mom, I'm okay. And at times I even step on my shoes because I never wanted her to see that my shoes were torn. because I knew she was going to go through hell, to provide me with those shoes. So I had to make sure I hide those shoes. To the point that some people at school started doubting. Remember, my mom was light skinned, people with their things. I so people started doubting, but is she her real mom? She's young. She's the youngest, but look at her shoes. So this is what because we were in boarding school at that time. So you can see. So I was supposed to be a child. Okay, I was supposed to be a child. I was supposed to do a lot of things children do, but I did not do these things because I was affected by the emotions my mother was going through as I grew up. Not like she was so tough or not like she displayed her emotions negatively, but because I understood what she was going through. There was nobody to give her support. Nobody was there. She don't have anyone to to lean on. She don't have nobody. So I knew that. So I grew up. I think from there I started thinking, all I was thinking about is, when am I going to grow up? And I start taking care of my mother. When am I going to grow up? I need to do this so fast. Now, that is what was running all over my mind all the time, because I wanted to make my mother happy. I never wanted to see my mother cry. I was young. I did not have the potential to, prevent all that she was going through. Let me first read your comments, though. I'm not trying to beat you up, Maria. Okay, it's okay. Yes, I understand. My son's father passed when he was young, and I'm not married. Wow. Well, my mom never remarried since then. I never actually. My dad died when my mom was young. She would get married if she wanted to, but she never. She never, because I guess she loved my father so much. I guess so, because from every aspect she did, it depends on the circumstances. When single parenting is concerned, the spouse could die or something like that. Situations like that is not the single parent fault. To that, I know, I understand. I really understand. It is not their fault, but it's not their fault. Now, Kay Washington say that since the father of her son passed, she's never got married again. The same story goes to my mother. And actually, probably there are not most men really try so very much to avoid, getting married to single parent. They find like, how will I even take care of another man's, children. They are so very much scared of the responsibility of raising those children. I cannot. The first thing you see in every man, selection, or the criteria at which women are looking for. Men are looking for women to marry. There is no single mother. Nobody wants to have a single mom, except a few, but the majorities don't. I guess probably that's why these other single mothers are remaining single, leaving all factors constant. I guess that's why they're remaining single, because most of men feel like they cannot marry single women. Mothers. I'm not going to take care of another man's child. I'm not going to do that. So, but in African society, single mothers actually we are respected, because a man would even be so sure that the woman she's taking is capable of bearing him children. Childbearing was very important in African tradition. And today, even parents feel like, how can you bring a woman with a child? Why are you bringing her out? These are African women who got married in families when they're even having other men's children, but they were taken in by another man, and this man catered for this very son, with whom they are denying this son not to marry a single woman. You can see. Anyway, so it is happening here in Africa. we should be the ones in a state of understanding the Africanism. We should be the one in a state of understanding the concept of African society, the concept of being African, the concept of Africanism. But we are embracing rather another new style, not like Kay Washington. She doesn't want probably to, but there's some single mothers who would love to also be in a relationship, get married, and of course, at least somebody else to take care of, their children, and also be loved just like other normal people. It's not a crime after all. So I think a lot of men are also shying away from that. They're running away from that. I'm not like saying it is a must, because maybe it is not your responsibility, but at least maybe I don't even have to say about this. But let me read a comment from Dwight Davidson. He's right in the building. Polygamy is the answer to the baby mama. Polygamy is the answer to the baby mama problem. Well, that's more women for the polygamous man not step up to the plate when raising another man's child. Mm-hmm. Well, polygamy is the answer to the baby mama. It doesn't mean that for baby mamas they should go to polygamous. I think there's still some other men there who are also single dads, probably the same other women. It is not that single mothers are half. They are, there's big. They are not like a half jerrycan of water. The other people are full, so you're supposed to collect some jerrycans of water to make them full, and all that. Somebody should love them, which is okay. Somebody should. It doesn't matter whether you're going to be a polygamous man or whether you want to be in a monogamous family. It is okay. It's not only people, don't take a single mother as somebody who's going to fill the equation, like adding up the equation or something. But yeah, when you look at polygamous, probably you take like 4 of them, if that's what you mean. Like you carry 4 or 5, and then you get them off the street. Nonsense. Actually, most men look how a single mother is raising her children, which can make the man not step up to the plate when raising another man's child. How is that? You explain to me, like, how? I don't really understand that, David Brown. You tell me about that. Try to elaborate a little bit about that comment. It seems so great, but like how? Like what do women want to see, in a woman, in how she's raising her child? What do they want to see? Like, you're raising a child, and what prevents you from not stepping up? Like, if you have all the potentials of raising a child, or you can tell me a little bit. Okay, well, that's more women for the polygamous man. If many men don't want single mothers. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. But I've seen, and I've seen a sad part when it comes to single mothers. I think they tend to be so desperate, more especially for those who wish for marriage. They tend to be so desperate that they do not, believe in themselves, that they just fall for whatever that comes by, because they lose that self-esteem that makes them feel proud of themselves, that they end up making a lot of mistakes. Actually, that's why people always say, if she's going to be a single mother, she may end up being a single mother forever, having children here and there, because these women actually are affected psychologically, more especially for those who never wanted to be, for those who believe in marriage. Anytime they just jump in, if somebody is like, But men talk nonsense. Men talk that shit. It's not like every man who tells you I love you. Men talk those sweet things, I guess, just to make a woman, soft. But most of them don't even mean what they're saying. So in fact, like single mothers always fall prey. Well, she gonna look at you and be she's like, is he really ready to take me with all my luggage? Is he really ready to take me in with all this I got? And then you do selflessly fall for another wrong man again because you are lacking that confidence. Having a child is not a crime. Having a children is not a crime actually. So why? In the US, one more women are born than men. Too many men in prison or gay. I'm talking about gay and prison. Prison has also separated men from their families and also, turned, women into single parent. Like this whole system actually is about breaking the family, breaking marriage, breaking family, because they know the more these children grow up without their fathers, they're going to end up doing a lot of crimes, and they're going to be prey to those ones who are focusing, of course, on destroying the black community. So this system runs like that. At times we look at it as a normal thing. You may think it's normal. First of all, nobody is sending me to be a single mom. Nobody. But before nobody is sending you to be, why do you feel like it's very comfortable for you to be in the first place? And why do you think it is very comfortable for a woman to, at the slightest thing, you think like you should divorce or break up? Even in families, even you and your mom, sometimes you have arguments and sometimes you have issues. But why is it that it's so very rampant? At the slightest thing, people want to break up. At the slightest thing, pack your shit and go away. Get out. And women, we love quarreling a lot. Me, I don't love to quarrel. By the way, I don't love to quarrel. And some people feel like I'm disrespecting because when somebody's talking and then you're quiet, and some people will be like, "You're this in Africa, it is like that. Why are you not replying? Are you deaf?" And the moment you open your mouth, are you replying? And then you'll be like, "What do you want me to do? I'm quiet." And then you're complaining why I'm quiet when I talk. Why am I talking like in Africa? That's how it is. When my mom, she calling, she like, "Are you dumb? Are you deaf? You don't have a mouth to speak? Are your ears deaf?" And the moment they, even you haven't mentioned it, but the moment you see your mouth, like, "Are you talking to me?" And then you'll be like, "What do you want? I thought you wanted me to talk." Are you sure you don't? In the US, they fall for the Christian feminism ideology. Monogamy. Do I just say? Do I just say that? Am I sure I don't? I don't what? I don't quarrel. Me, I don't quarrel. I don't really quarrel. Do I? Have you ever seen me quarrel? So, some women relationship with their children can prohibit a stepfather to be the man in the relationship, so the child will play on that issue which affects the bond between the man and the woman. It's complicated than too many words to type and explain. Okay, I understand. Now I understand. Now I understand, I guess. Um let me hope I'm going to explain it well. Um like let me assume like you go for a single mother, and her children do not really respect you, and you feel like you are not, they don't respect you. Probably they treat you like an outsider, or they even don't want to welcome you into their lives, if that's what you mean. I'm trying to put your comment together. So if the track I'm on is, just say yes. I guess that's what you mean. Like, you find single mothers and they have raised their children with no respect. They don't respect you, and that you want to be their father. Probably you want to step up and take that responsibility and at least feel loved by these children, because of course nobody wants to stay in a place where they're never loved. And you want these children to love you and respect you because you want to be their father, but they're not. Even if it is me, I just say bye bye, baby mom. Yeah, exactly. Yes, I get you now. That's true. So every single mother out there who is willing to have a man come into their lives and step up what the father of these children didn't, wasn't capable, or at least, what the father of these children never had chance to, if at all the father died, or okay, should raise their children with understanding, and of course call for respect towards the spouse or whoever is willing to step up and take care of these children. Actually, I think people raise their children differently, But yeah, also being a stepdad, it's very hard work. I can tell you that. I think it is because, anyway, my time is up. I know I came late, and I know Keith is ready to come into that studio. David Brown, thank you so very much for those great comments and for being here. Dwight Davidson, I'm sorry, I didn't call you by your first name. Dwight Davidson. Thank you very much for coming through too. Davidson Brown, you too, thank you so very much for coming through. And for those great comments you guys have dropped. You have made this show very, very interesting. I've liked the show myself. I saw, who else was it? Kay Washington Sees. Thank you very much for coming through and for sharing with us those great comments. And of course, I know this has been a little bit emotional to you from the comments you dropped, and I'm really sorry about your husband. I really understand what your son is going through, because one of I've also been affected by that. Jimmy Jabba, thank you for coming through. You always do. Thank you so much. Um, Robert Williams. Yeah, Asante so very much, my brother. Asante for coming through. Who else? Who else came through? Trying to scroll up and see. Oh, this light is really sharp. Okay, who else was here? I think it was General Mosquito. Yeah, it was General Mosquito. And the first person who came on was David Brown. Thank you very much, guys, for those who came through and for those who dropped in their comment. Thank you so very much. It has been a pleasure having you here. Tomorrow, definitely, I'm coming. Thank you very much. Okay. Okay, great. Sure. Thank you so much. Kay Washington says it was an emotional one. Yes, I really, really understood from your comments. But thank you very much for dropping those comments, sister. Thank you very much for coming through. Thank you very much, guys, for loving Black Hot Fire Network and always sticking with us, no matter the weather. It has been me, Africa Maria from Kampala, Uganda. Have a blessed day and good night from Uganda, of course. See you tomorrow. Yes, definitely tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Not same time though, because I ain't sure, but ciao, ciao, and take care. Take care of yourself.